Hello, everybody, and welcome back to DBDLeague. We are loading into the first match of the Legion set with none other than Julian on the Legion with that very interesting-looking weapon, by the way. And we have the survivors. Also, Sock My Socks, Slama, Gree, and Deco as well. But before we go too much into that, really quick, let's introduce my co-caster who was here for the last matchup, as well as myself, that being Edgar the Ruiner. How are you doing today, my friend?
Doing absolutely wonderfully. An all-American matchup today. Two of, I believe, the three NA teams that we have in this tournament that have made it over to the main stage. So, of course, very, very excited to see what they can get up to. Some very recognizable names as well. And let's talk about this set. First of all, we want to apologize for the long break. There was a disconnect getting into the match, but it was deemed a no-fault restart. But, of course, instead of just loading in, we just kind of kept the break going so that we could sort all the issues on our end. Also, what are we doing on Legion? Are we going to have another incident like we did with Legion last time? The answer is maybe. So, this is one of the special sets. It is Legion, indoor map, required to bring Ruin, and the Etched Ruler add-on. The Etched Ruler add-on, whenever you hit someone with a Feral Slash, they're going to become oblivious for 60 seconds. The Ruin cannot be cleansed until the first generator is completed. So, fair game. That can stay up until the first gen is done. Only then, and only then, can the survivors cleanse it. So, you can see they're trying to bully out the first gen right now, and we're at this very strange palette, the one which is both, you know, very safe and very not. And oh, Sock My Socks is actually kind of juicing there, denying value from the iridescent button by just vaulting back and forth into the killer.
The unfortunate thing about this chase right here, in particular for Exodus, is I don't know if you noticed this, but look at the perk on the right there. That's definitely not the survivor you want in the first chase. So that's really unfortunate. But so far, Sock My Socks doing a very, very good job in chase here, putting Julian in a tough spot here. And yeah, I mean, if Sock My Socks goes down first, that's going to be delivered out of the match. But either way, I mean, not a bad first chase to have here in terms of the survivors here. Sock My Socks are doing a really good job here right now.
Yep, that they are. First generator's gone, which means that the Ruin is going to be gotten rid of. And now Julian actually chooses to leave Sock My Socks, utilize some of this speed to find someone else. It's actually Gree that you've been able to track down. But
yeah,
Gree
honestly
has the life, able to get round to this pallet in the corner.
Yeah, nice for Exodus that that Julian actually decides to leave Sock My Socks. So now Deliverance can still be in play. But unfortunately, we do find Sock My Socks again, so that's really unfortunate. But either way, I mean, things aren't too bad right now. We have 3 gens left, and so far, no hook at all. We're actually going to use our information with the Killer Instinct with Legion's power to find another chase here. Maybe one in a little bit better of an area to actually take. And we do get this Pharaoh-friendly slash onto Slama as well. We're going to go and try to play for this down onto Slama, which he does make this this vault here.
Yeah, but the problem is, like, Slama can just make it again. Actually fakes it, but it was called by the killer that there would be a fake. Now we just go for the insta-vault with the Eerie button. The most efficient way, to be honest, to be playing Legion at this highest level. The problem with Legion's power is that it lends itself so well to, you know, spreading pressure. You are actively incentivized to go around the map to get injuries and tags onto multiple survivors, and also to hit them with those lunges, but we can't have everything in life, can we? The problem is, like, in a competitive setting, that is kind of the worst possible thing that you can do. You want someone on a hook, you want someone dead, and, you know, literally only because of the Eerie button do you have a chase power that actually does anything against an already injured survivor.
Yeah, exactly. That's the unfortunate thing here. Julian's just having a really tough time. I mean, we have some very good... Oh my goodness! Gree is playing this so... I mean, all 4 survivors are playing this really well. We haven't really lent any, like, really free hits other than what Feral Frenzy can really allow. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, these downs are just not coming in at all. Yeah. Exodus is playing this Survivor side extremely well here. Just not really lending any downs here for free. Even despite having the Eerie button in play and a really solid build here as well on the pillar side, just not really allowing much of anything.
Yeah, we've gone about 5 minutes without a down right now, and this is unbelievable from the EXO survivors. This is genuinely unbelievable. Recall that Petroleum right now, the killer Julian is being made to look like someone with like 50 hours in the game. They were the ones invited to this tournament, and right now Exodus is doing a fantastic job. Right, like the gens are flying. Like a reasonable speed. You know, no one's gone down. Sox is still uninjured. They're somehow like spreading out so that everyone who's injured is having an absolutely phenomenal chase, and it feels like Julian can do absolutely nothing about it. You know, the pain res is great and all, but it's really not going to do anything. And another swing and a miss. What's going on? What are they doing in North America?
Oh, this is so. Oh, wait, what?
Tried to go for a read. Didn't work out. That's okay.
Our first hook is coming in when basically all 5 gens are popped here. This is so rough.
When literally,
yeah,
the pain res didn't do anything. We saw a pain res that got to 0 value the entire game, because by the time we got our first pain res hook, it was over. It was already over. And in fairness, the survivors have access to some really strong perks here, and I don't believe that we're actually seeing that face cam coming out right now. Point is, yeah, it's a very tough start for Petroleum, but that's only the first trial in what could end up being a very protracted set.
Yeah, very well said. We do get the reset, or we do get the unhook for pretty much free. Julian was not actually face camping and just not contesting the save. His controller didn't die, so we're all good. Yeah, unfortunate, honestly, but you know, one stage, man, it's so rough. I mean, Legion has a really good power to injure, but once you're injured, it's literally just trapper with no traps. I mean, like you can literally play against Legion for free. I mean, it's really unfortunate, honestly.
Yeah, one of the slowest first downs that we've had all season. 6:22 final. 6:22 the final mark. Plus all the survivors have reset, so like they will probably be able to get outs as well. This is such a tough time for our killer. And I mean, ball's in your court now, Exodus. Are you able to are you able to get 2 hook stages? Even if you're on Legion, probably. You have to play an absolutely perfect game if you're Petroleum to come out on top here. Now, Petroleum is a team that's capable of it. As we'll be seeing when we get to their survivor side, they will have some phenomenal talent. Now, everyone's able to get out. They will have some phenomenal talent on their side, but phenomenal enough to just, like, not give 1 hook, because honestly 1 hook will become 2 if the killer really wants it enough in a situation like this, you know.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised that Julian didn't just camp the. I mean, you know, it looked like he did, but he didn't actually camp the. I'm surprised he didn't camp the hook. Yeah, it was just a spectator bug, but I'm surprised he didn't actually camp the hook. I mean, like you got 1 stage at endgame, and that was it. You could have at least forced a trade there. Like that was like the only way you were really ever going to get another hook. I mean, the survivors have really solid perks on their side. Legion just isn't very oppressive in chase once the injure comes in. Like it's just, man, that was quite frankly heartbreaking for Julian there.
Petroleum have been out of DBDLeague for 3 years, and that is the return they get. This is also Petroleum's pick. They were the ones who chose to go with the Legion as well. We do not want to harp on this forever because there is a long time for this, but I am going to just hope that this is an anomalous result, right? It is all but confirmed that Exodus are going to take the first set. We would be very, very silly to say that will not happen. But we have a longer set ahead of us. All right, we have a manner of killers, but this is a hell of a welcome back party. All right, a hell of a welcome back party. It's kind of a sign of obviously I'm sure that you know, in the meantime, obviously all of these players were playing on you know, different teams and like still practicing. It's not like they've just, you know, gone into a coma for 3 years and decided to come back to DBD, right? But about how like it's not so easy necessarily to suddenly just come back into a top tier tournament and perform at the level that you once did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a hell of a thing for these players to deal with. But also, let's put things more in the nice sense and give a lot of credit to Exodus because their chases were fantastic, right? There were a lot of 50s that were being won where, like, honestly, it was kind of a coin flip as to whether the down would come through or not. The problem that we had at the end of the day is, like, yeah, Exodus just won all of them. And at a point, it becomes almost comical. And there was no weak link. You know, oftentimes, like if one chase doesn't work out, it's like, okay, well, I can find the weak link, someone who will panic and chase, and that I can like take down. That just didn't happen. Initially, it seems like there's no weak link on Exodus, and then how the hell do you, you know, systematically break down a team when none of that team will break? You just don't. You just don't.
Yeah, very, very true. I want to go back to what you said, by the way, earlier about Petroleum not really going to be able to take this set, right? Julian was only able to really get one hook stage. So, yeah, the unfortunate thing here is you have to not allow two hook stages to come in before endgame, which, I mean, it sounds a lot easier said than done. But either way, the important thing to remember is that I mean, that's gonna be really tough to do, even on a killer with like essentially no chase power to get it down. Um, I mean, it is Larry's, and you do have a lot of really solid perks against you know in favor of the survivor side. So that's really good for Petroleum here. Like they can definitely play this, but either way, one hook stage. I mean, I don't know. I think the Exodus definitely has this, but either way, it's just really, really not good for Petroleum after securing a one stage.
Yeah. Anyway, let's think about something more positive because the series is far from over, right? And we're gonna have a fun time on Legion. Of course, Cannibal as well, something that we did see earlier. That was on Larry's because Larry's has been picked here. We're gonna see that on Midwich instead. Then we get into some kind of outliers, you know, Cloud, Huntress, animatronics, some very strange, goofy, and wacky killers. But we're all about having a fun, wacky time here in DBDLeague. And I think another problem is with this special bouncing. I get the idea of the etched ruler, where it's like, okay, give people the oblivious effect on taking a feral slash. But because legions are like going, like they use their power to get an injury and then just cancel it and then commit to the chase anyway. To be honest, it doesn't really do anything. Oh, but that, you know, that certainly helps.
Yeah, that first tag coming in, not really the best situation to be sitting in. And now we have information on multiple different survivors here. Kenshi takes a tag as well, and we're following. I believe this is Momo here. We do take that tag as well. Are we gonna get a fifth hit with Legion this early on? Oh my goodness!
I think Acid's too far. I want it to be true. I really do, but like I just think Acid's slightly too far away to get that last hit. But still, that's 3 injuries, which you've collated right off the clock. You know, it's fine. That's fine by you if you're Evan here. And now, you know, just play in the corner. Now the Oblivious might actually mean something because there's so many survivors that are injured because you've spread that pressure. And you found an injured Julian to find, to chase down. Of course, you have the Eerie button in your back pocket, but of course, you are still an M1 killer on Larry's. So you are going to struggle with some of these tiles. You need to force this pallet to be dropped. And then you need to... Actually, just going to go for a break and then try and play around it. But I don't think you're going to be able to body block Julian making this other pallet.
Yeah, very true, very true. We do just drop the pallet. We make another one here as well, and just forced to kind of just vault it and break it. Julian on head-on, by the way, is kind of interesting. We do have some other perks that are pretty beneficial to have. Oh, does he make this? I don't know if he makes a pallet. Okay, all right. Woohoo! Just barely making it. Okay, all right. Good stuff so far, Julian. We're able to make that pallet. Do we make this one? No, we don't. We die on the pallet. We have 5 gens remaining. Is anyone there for a pallet save? No one is. This is the only hook stage you're able to give up unless you take a loss here. But, oh, goodness.
High combat.
Oh, all right. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad. That is not what you wanted.
Yeah, and like now we cancel our power here. Acid is stuck at this pallet, which again is really not safe at all. What? Okay. Okay, Evan. I see you, I guess. But like you're still able to just chase Acid round, and with this you're going to be firmly securing the win on your side. The answer now, you have your win, but how much further can you get? You know, what good is a physical victory if you cannot also achieve a mental one? I'm sure that Sun Tzu wrote that on a book when he invented war.
Yeah, something like that, right? Man, this is really hard to watch, honestly. Like, this is a very difficult win condition. No matter who you are, it doesn't really matter. I mean, like, everyone's very well aware of the fact that Julian is a very solid player, but securing that one stage win condition, it just hurts my soul, man. It's really rough to see. But that being said, I mean, like, yeah, this match was already over at 4 gens, unfortunately. I think this just really wasn't Petroleum's set, unfortunately. Evan played this extremely well. Was already playing for a 5th hit in the very beginning of the match. Didn't get it, but got multiple injuries out of it. The Oblivious really working in favor of Evan as well. So, man, this is really, really rough, honestly. But, hey, well played to Exodus securing the win on the first set here. Especially with the special All Hallows League rule set here. Now we just have to see if Petroleum will bring him back in the next set here. Nice dead hard, by the way, from Julian. Very well played.
Yeah, definitely. Doing a good job here, extending the chase for as long as humanly possible. This is a pallet with a pretty extended setup. One side which is very safe, and one side which is basically completely non-existent. Unfortunately, you are eventually forced over to that non-existent side, and it becomes a little bit of a problem. Anyway, we end up putting Julian on the hook once more. That's 4 stages secured with Julian dead on hook 2. Evan's not been too worried about splitting pressure for the time being, but now that you have someone who can be taken out of the game, that might be an idea when Julian comes off the hook.
Yeah, quite frankly, very well said, honestly. Yeah, this is just tough, honestly. But, I mean, this is not the only set in this match here. Also, important to mention here as well is that we mentioned earlier that Umbrella had a 100% set win rate before coming to the main stage of All Hallows League. And the same can be said about Exodus. They actually also have a 100% win rate as well. So that's also very important to mention here. All right, playing 50s here. Okay, all right. Well played, bought a little bit of time. Acid able to hold the chase for a little bit on a very, very, very not good pallet. I was going to say crappy pallet, but you know, it kind of is. Yeah. What can we really do in this situation, honestly? 2 gens remaining. We have 5 hooks on the board here on 3 different survivors, 5 stage refresh, and we're following someone's scratch marks here. Someone who is injured for sure. It looks like it's going to be Kenshi. Fresh stage, the final one as well. So.
Yep, we're seeing exactly what can be done here. You know, you try and make the most out of a bad situation here. Kenshi, actually, no, not quite able to get over to that vault. Going to get grabbed up on a hook. It's going to be another fresh. So again, we're just stacking up the money as we can. Honestly, I'm thinking this is looking like... I'm not saying it's a guarantee. It's looking like Evan get a 4K. That's a Grim Embrace proc with that 4th stage onto Kenshi as well. So now the survivors do just sort of have to, you know, sit down and twiddle their thumbs while essentially doing nothing for, well, what was going to be 40 seconds, but now the next 20 seconds as well. Meanwhile, that's a lot of time for Evan to continue chasing down Acid, who, remember, will be dead with another hook.
Yeah, which is rough considering the previous win con was 2 stages, and yeah, unfortunately, Acid's gonna be dead here. What are we doing? Evan just kind of staring the walker like, is that what we're really gonna do here? Oh, actually, decisive strike. Okay, I did not see that coming. Not gonna lie, Acid pulling a pretty interesting play out here. Not one I would particularly see in a Legion set for sure, but hey, we get it, and we're gonna break the pallet with Eerie button here, giving our Survivor teammates time to complete the last gen. And you know, all things considered, even after that really bad first match here, it's nice to see. It's nice to see that Petroleum is still playing to get the best possible win condition here. Just really unfortunate first match on the killer side, and now the Survivor side, they're doing the best they possibly can. It's just nice. It's just nice to see that Petroleum hasn't lost their drive to get a good win condition here.
Yeah, do everything you can in the circumstances. It's looking slowly increasingly more likely that you get the final generator done. I don't think Julian actually barely has the distance and really good discipline to hold on, not drop that pallet the first time round. Again, it's another one of those annoying Oh, I'm sorry, what was Bro doing there? And we go for a firecracker and flashlight save, but unfortunately, Evan was looking at the wall the entire time, so it's not going to quite work out. What a strange one that was. But yeah, we have lots of stages secured here for Evan. 3 players now dead on hook, but it looks like outs are very achievable for Petroleum here, and they should get some.
Yeah, they should definitely get outs here. Yeah, Momo kind of forced to play tiles here, not able to make it to the exit here. So that's unfortunate. Actually making some good distance here as well. Momo just like patiently playing check spots here as well. Very nice to see that. And yeah, I mean, like playing the best you can here, honestly. We do make it back to the window, so that was a kind of useless fall, I'm not going to lie. But either way, Kenshi does die on hook. Momo's the only survivor left in the match here. The only survivor that isn't dead on hook, by the way, as well. And does he make it to the exit with this? I don't think so, but it's going to be really close here. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. It was a nice attempt, though. All right, Evan. All right, buddy. All right, buddy. Oh. Okay.
No, you're not allowed to leave. You're not allowed to leave. As the survivor literally tries to crawl out the gate. Oh my lord. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Right. So, for people who were gone, well, I'd actually it would actually be nice to learn more about this, because I can't say that I know everything for certain. But yeah, Petroleum were a historically quite strong North American team. Played together quite a while ago, of course. Haven't played in DBDL for about 3 years. Seem to have recently banded back together for All Hallows League 2025. So I promise you, don't let that start taint your opinion of them. It's a bad start. It happens to the best of us. It was a really bad one, but like again, that can happen, right? We still have a long ways to go. We still have plenty of opportunities here as time goes forward. And as time goes forward, we're going to be looking at the most handsome killer in the game, Bubba himself, on Midwich.
Very well said, honestly.
Well, you thought I was going to say, like, what, Trickster? No, it's Bubba.
Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, he's just a good dude. You know, we love Bubba. He's just protecting his family. You know, that's all he's really doing. That's all he wants to do, and he's good. He's darn good at it. So yeah, we're gonna move on to the cannibal, and we actually have yeah, it looks like we're gonna have the same survivors loading in here. Salama is gonna be on the killer actually, so that's interesting to see. And also, another interesting note here is this is also going to be all Hallows League balancing, not the gold standard, but also considering the fact that gold standard still kind of applies in some fashion here. So the survivors don't get any perks against Cannibal. So it's it's important to note that. But also noting on top of that, going over the balancing here that applies to Cannibal in this fashion here is that Midwich Elementary School is going to be played, and they're either going to have to run either Hex Overture of Doom or Hex Ruin. And the survivors don't get any perks at all, and they're not allowed to cleanse any hex totems at all for the entire trial. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see. I'm very interested in how this is going to play out because quite frankly, this is some interesting balancing here for our survivor side.
That it is. And we saw earlier, because we can say what we saw earlier from the Leatherface sets as to what was being brought along. It turns out that when you can't cleanse hexes, the killers are very inclined to bring really strong, really annoying hexes like crowd control, which is of course a fantastic perk on a lot of killers, but also Bubba specifically, windows are of course going to be a big counter to both of the chainsaw killers, so anything to deal with that's going to be good. And then Devour Hope as well, because Devour Hope is generally never really bought because it's just too high risk, right? Um, it's too high risk, and you can't, like, the effect is fantastic, but the moment the survivors catch on, they just get rid of it, and it's like, okay, well, I might have well wasted a perk slot, right? Turns out that when you can't cleanse anything, it's not such a bad idea to bring along Devour Hope, is it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a very good point, honestly, Edgar. I like what you're cooking up here. It's kind of an interesting, kind of a good idea. Yeah, no cleansing hex totems. So curious to see what we're gonna bring in. I mean, Ruin's obviously the favorite here. It provides some really good slowdown. It's very passive, but it did get buffed back to 150% instead of 100, and it's nice to see that no longer Ruin gets instantly removed from the trial when a survivor dies. So it's already a much better perk than it used to be. So that's nice to see. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are loading into the first match of the Cannibal set here. We're gonna be hopping in here right now. It looks like, and again, we are gonna be on Midwich here with Slama on the Cannibal here with Hex Ruin, Deadlock, or if you don't have Pinhead, it's No Holds Barred, Grim Embrace, and Dead Man Switch. So really interesting build coming in from Slama here. Not a bad idea at all. And yeah, we have Kenshi, Momo, Acid, and Julian on Petroleum Survivor side. Yeah, the fact that this is on Midwich is really interesting. So yeah, we're following someone's scratch marks here. Not quite sure who it is just yet. It looks like it's going to be Momo actually on the Nancy. So so far, pretty far away. I think we should be able to make this pallet no problem.
Yeah, I think that the fact we're on Midwich informs the perk choices a little more. I would have thought the crowd control would have been an absolute no-brainer, but obviously that was assuming we'd be on Larry's, where there are windows plentiful. There really aren't that many windows, when you think about it, on Midwich, at least not ones to which a bubble would have to actively play around. It's just pallets, and you just shred those with your power anyway, right? Most windows, you just kind of follow the survivor straight through, and it's as simple as that. So now Momo's doing a really good job in his chase thus far, to the point where Slammer actually just has to abandon it completely. Might have spotted a juicier target in Kenshi, who is checking both sides very, very carefully, and yeah, he's going to be able to outrun that section of the power
he tantrums.
Oh, he does,
He tantrumed on the doorway. That's so unfortunate. Yeah, I sorry, I just wanted to butt in there because I don't know if you caught that or not, but he tantrumed on the doorway and wasn't able to make it up there. So Kenshi just got the world of distance ahead of him here. Also, not to mention the fact that Momo's pathing was just incredible. So really just lasting super long in chase there.
Yeah, it seems like our good old pal Bubba's having a bit of an interesting time. Yeah, you know what? Midwich on Bubba strikes me a little bit like the game, right? Where it's essentially an arms race, where how quickly can the survivors do the gens before every pallet is dropped. And oh, we're greeting this, we're greeting this, we're greeting this,
Yeah.
and maybe we shouldn't have. So Downlet comes through. It was delayed quite a lot of credit over to both Momo and Kenshi. Momo for just kind of escaping outright, and Kenshi for taking a pretty long chase. But now Simon has an early hook. This is bad, because we all know what Bubba is very, very good at. And in regular Dead by Daylight, it's like, oh, well, that's not too much of a problem, you know. It's fine if it's fine. They just use the anti-camp. That's not an option that we have here in DBDLeague, so we'll get ready to pitch a tent, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, before anti-camp was even a thing, even in public matches, Bubba was just an absolute menace. Like, you were just not ever getting off hook if Bubba had you on hook. So, yeah. But in comp, the same rules essentially still apply. Like, you just do not have an opportunity to really save off hook unless you somehow play it extremely perfectly. But even then, like, what do you do? Also, we're also hooked on a very high progress gen and ruins in play, so all that progress is just bye-bye. Oh, goodness, Edgar, this is tragic, honestly. I mean, despite the amazing start Petroleum had here, this is not good.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I wonder if Slammer leaves. Yes, okay, Slammer is leaving. It would have been. I was waiting for the punchline to drop there, but no, Slammer. Never mind. No, Slammer's sticking around. Okay, so we're here for the long haul. Yeah, the Ruin is, as you say, regressing its middle gen. Also, there was the Grim Embrace, which Slammer was able to use. The Grim Embrace forced everyone off their generators so that Deadman Switch could activate. And also, Deadlock keeps rocking the most progressed generators. It really feels like Kenshi brought this build along to get an early, like, hook, and then camp, and then force the survivors to just sit there and, like, stare as their friend slowly dies on the meat hook.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? But we do have some really good progress right now coming in from Petroleum, so they might actually see all 5 gens pop for the death of a single person here. Unless Slama is able to... Yeah, a very good trade, honestly. So interesting thing here is both Momo... Oh, they're 99 in the last gen and going to try to complete it at the same time. This is really smart. Momo completes on an accident. But this gen's almost done. Slama does see it, so he's just going to path straight over to this gen and try to find out who's working on it. But that Courtyard gen still has a good amount of progress, too, so I imagine they're going to try to work on this one as well.
This is odd because this is a build which tells me that Slama wasn't really playing for the 4K, like at any point in time. Because you have a build which is devoted to camping the first hook to death. It's not terrible practice to see hooks camp to second stage and then go for a tongue out if you've got your down pretty early. But in a situation like this, it's less good. Now, Julian's doing a really good job here, but you are in a kind of tough corner. Like, you are eventually going to be forced out, and the problem is the other survivors can only stare longingly into the distance, right? You can't tank hits against the Leatherface. It just doesn't happen. You can't unhook against him either. So it really does seem like it seems, if I had to put it an odd way, it seems like a gentleman's handshake between the two teams, you know? Exodus saying, we're going to get 6 stages too fresh, we're just going to outright kill 2 people, but you get your 2 outs, and, you know, Petroleum saw that offer, and they were like, okay, we'll happily take it. On paper, at least, it seemed like a pretty good result for Petroleum.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, Petroleum played this very masterfully. Taking very, very long chases, not giving Slama anything for free. So really, really well played by Petroleum here. That being said, we're going to switch sides and see if Petroleum can do the same thing on Killer's side. And if not better, that'd be great for them. Especially considering that first set was a bit of a tragedy for Petroleum. Very, very unfortunate stuff. But we're moving on. Petroleum had a much, much better start in this match. And honestly, 6 stages too fresh. Not bad at all. I would say that's actually a very good result for the Survivor side.
That it is. Yeah, okay. Remember what we said earlier? Remember what we said earlier about how, Petroleum are, that was a bad start. It definitely seems like it. Things are settled here. Now, this set was actually a pick for Exodus. I'm interested to see exactly how the result is, like what we should be expecting. You know what I mean? Because right now it's very difficult to determine what is necessarily a good result and a bad result. These are special sets with strange rulings, and we're playing on reverse maps, and Mercury's in the microwave, and my dog stubbed his toe, and like you know what I mean. There's so many things adding up together that makes it like very difficult to determine what is a good or a bad result. So right now, bluntly, I cannot tell you whether 6 stages, 2 fresh, is a good or bad result for Bubba on this specific map with this specific rule set, right? I can only compare it to what we will see in, the next the next performance that comes out.
I mean, honestly, very well said, right? Um, I mean, we're just now officially starting the main stage of all Halls League, so we're just now seeing this. But also worth mentioning that Calamity. This is a stat. This is a stat from the background from Valoria, our stats analyst, providing us with some really awesome stats here. Calamity used to 0 stage Bubba without any perks on Larry's and Wreckers. So that's really impressive. But honestly, quite frankly, going off of just like what I know from competitive DBD in and whatnot, I think that this was really well played by Petroleum. I mean, they took a really good first chase, forced Sama to leave multiple chases in the beginning, and I mean, only got 2 survivors out of it. I mean, their gen pressure was really insane. It was very solid, despite having that gen in the middle get a hook directly on it. I mean, this is really solid from Petroleum. So now Momo is actually going to be on the Bubba. So I'm sure a lot of Petroleum fans are going to be happy to hear that. They're happy to hear the Momo's coming in on the Cannibal here to put up a good result here. So, and we have Deco, Sock My Socks, Slama, and Gree on the Survivor side. So that's really awesome. We hopefully Petroleum gets a better start here. But quite frankly, these two teams here are both really solid. So we'll have to see what's going to
Yeah,
happen in this upcoming match.
We've been discussing Petroleum a lot because obviously that's a very big story that they have come back together, that they are back in this tournament. It is a massive story. I absolutely can't deny it. But I feel like in that, I don't want to overlook a team like Exodus. I know they've been grinding a lot recently. They've been mainstays on our scrim nights and community nights. They also have a player called Sock My Socks, which is just really funny to me for some reason. And so they get, a little Edgar stamp of approval for that one. But no, they've been grinding. They're consistently putting up very strong results, and it's clear that they're able to play some of the historically better teams relatively close. So, again, this is no hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby kind of matchup that we got here today. Exodus are a newer team for sure, but they're also still improving. They're still fresh. They are very hungry up and comers. So, if we had to compare it that way, we do have the old heads versus the young heads, but also probably not that old. Let's be honest, it's esports. Realistically, both these teams are fantastic, and I'm really excited to see how the rest of this series can match up. And also, just like whoever loses this, I think is probably going to have a good enough time in the lower bracket, regardless.
Very well said. And quite frankly, remember how we said earlier that the survivors are not allowed to cleanse any hexes this trial?
Mm-hmm.
Wretched Fate.
Wretched Fate. Yep.
Wretched Fate, baby. Let's go. All right. I like where Momo's head is at. This is very smart. We get someone other than Deco here. This would be really good. We get a pallet out of the way for only a couple stacks of the chainsaw. So, and we're finding ourselves on this pallet here. Oh, okay. What? This is gonna be a down. Very early down on the Slama here from Momo. Very solid. Very well done. Oh, okay, this is kind of bad for Exodus here, I'm not going to lie. We have Pain Resonance ready to go as well, so this is going to be some very early gen pressure, very early gen aggression as well. All for a camp. If Momo plays this very well, we could be sitting at a really good win condition here for Momo.
I mean, I don't know what to say about that. Like, I feel like Slumber was so scared of being zoned out that they ended up just greeding a bit too hard, right? And running into a spot where you didn't have anything at all to work with. It was too easy for Momo to just run you down with the chainsaw and put one right through your kidneys. So now this is remember how last time you know, after the first set we were like, oh, it's over for Petroleum, it's over for Exodus on Leatherface. You do not get downed that quickly in that fashion. And like if you're Momo and I guess the rest of Petroleum in this instance, you do not get a minimum of 7 stages. Even if the gens like to go bang bang like that, you're still completely fine.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, we have to see this get, you know, camp to completion here. Slama is nearing second stage here, and Momo can kind of just hold this this doorway here. I mean, even if anyone comes to get the save, I don't think they're going to be able to even get the trade here. They're just going to go right down. Momo's not going to leave now that Slama's reached second stage, and kind of just harass the gens in the area. Ruin is able to really slow down any gen progress passively here, and Wretched Fate also going to be slowing Deco's gens down a pretty good amount as well. So, not a bad idea from Momo here to actually... Oh.
Unfortunately, the Hillbilly cannot fly. They didn't patch that, sadly.
Yeah, unfortunately. I was hoping to see some Sky Bubba today, but not going to happen with an M1 and not going to happen on Bubba, I don't think. So, yeah, unfortunate for Momo missing that tag there, but it looks like we're going to get Slama out of the game relatively early. 3 gens left still. Deco's gen's moving slow because of Wretched Fate. Not a lot of cleanse it at all. So there goes another gen. We're sitting at 2 left now, but there can't be much more gen pressure on board.
Yeah, like, you have, obviously, Deco's gen might pop, like, soon-ish. Obviously, the Wretched Fate means it would go after Sock My Socks. I can only imagine right now that, okay, someone's up here. No one's working on a gen. That is concerning. Why is no one working on a gen? This is literally the only way that you can win this game, and no one's doing it currently. I know that there was one by the hook downstairs, and I guess Mo was just doing a good job of pressuring out all the other ones, and, you know, the Ruin is going to be working overtime during all of this. Sock My Socks has to have a chase, which can last 2 gens without running into those gens, and also just, like, not dying at all. It's a hell of an ask, even for, you know, a player that good.
Honestly, yeah, very well said. And we do drop this pallet up here, trying to just buy some extra time. But we actually take a weird path from here. We're going to break this pallet. This area is less safe now. The better pallet of the 2 in there are now gone. Is now gone. And we see Sock My Socks down the hallway here. So we're just going to go and follow this. Quite frankly, oh no, this is Gree, actually, excuse me. We're actually going to opt to leave, not commit to that chase here, and try to find someone else here. Anyone but Deco is a great idea here, because Deco is the Wretched Fate, so his gens are going to be slower by default. So better to find either Sock My Socks or Gree here in an unsafe position. And I think we actually just found Sock My Socks, actually, so this is great for Momo.
Yeah, we're going to be going here. We have a pallet to work with. Team like Sock My Socks had pathed a little oddly away from it. But eventually is going to be fine. Actually just wraps back round. Wants to go to that window to play around. And it's a good enough ult for Momo to leave. Again, just knows where it's at. It's all in the generators. You can keep a lock on those. Utilize the Ruin, of course, while you have it. And while it's a guarantee to have on your side. You know, why not just assert yourself over the gens? And, you know, the survivors are going to struggle to adapt to that.
Very well said. And we actually find Deco on this highly progressed gen. But quite frankly, again, I don't think this is one you really want to go for. You don't want to go for Deco. He's going to be the one with Hex Wretched Fate on him. So his gens will be slow. But either way, that is still a high progressed gen. So it's still something to definitely not want to let fly here. But Momo needs it down either way. I mean, we're just getting closer and closer to finishing the gens here. And if Momo doesn't get it down, we won't even see the tie here. So that's not what we want to see. We definitely want to see a down come in and another hook. We'll at least get the tie here, and maybe Momo can pull something else out here.
Oh,
This is a dangerous pallet to be caught on, though.
the tantrum. Okay. I mean, this doesn't. Unfortunately, it was only the one token, so it didn't really allow Gree to escape. But you know, Gree is zoned. Gree is still zoned. Gree took that M1 and literally could not go anywhere. Now you can use the pallet unless you land a stun. Yeah, you're dead. You're just dead here.
Bad.
Yeah, wait, actually, no, never mind. You can make it to this pallet. You get to the pallet and you get the blind. Oh my god, wait a minute. You're okay here. And remember, like, if Gree goes down here, that would only be the Tycon, provided that everyone else is able to escape. There's the M1 that comes out. But do you go for this hook and camp it out? Because, like, if you do, like, no one gets off of it. As simple as that. Like, if you want to camp Gree to death, Gree dies. It's that simple. But, like, is that what you want to do? Yeah, that would be the draw.
I feel like you don't camp Gree out here. I feel like you leave and you go find someone else. Because if you get Gree and then they get saved and then you get another person camped out all the way, then that's going to be the win. You can get a 7 stages here. And we find Suck My Socks. So just commit to him and you can get the win here. There's a God Palette not here, actually. Oof.
And there's no pressure on either exit gate. Because they had to go for the unhook. Yeah, I think this is just a spot where it's over for the survivors. Again, like, you need to play around a stun or something like that. Someone else is looking for anything possible right now. Takes an M1, but it's in a really nasty position. Gree actually wants to take the body block here. And is Deco able to get the gate? The gate's not done! The gate's not going to be done in time! And I mean, with that, like, Petroleum has the win. I'm sorry, but Petroleum's gonna have the win now because they couldn't quite complete that gate in time.
And he's zoned to the other exit gate. I don't know if he makes it around all the way. This is so bad. This pallet's gone. You're just dead here.
This pallet was. I mean, actually, no. This pallet wasn't used earlier. But, like, you just get stunned in this corner and you go down anyway. The pallet save is a really harsh concept and is completely fictitious as well. It's just not going to happen. And, yeah, we force the grab onto Gree to try and force the tie. But Gree's either just going to be insta-hooked or just, you know, like, yeah, you're screwed here. You're trying to pick up, but it will be all for nothing.
That's still... I mean, Deco is also still... Okay, this is going to be 4K0, actually, I think. This is looking really bad here for Exodus.
That it is. And you've been forced into the corner. Bruno ended up getting hit at the pallet. Petroleum able to bounce back off of a, you know, pretty... after a pretty rough first set of the day, they've been able to bring it back on the Leatherface here. So they're getting back into the swing of things. They have broken the Exodus win streak. Exodus, you know, up until this set, also went completely undefeated throughout their time in the qualifiers and in the first set of today. But both teams have now lost on their own individual picks. So this means we are minimum going to be seeing Clown and Huntress come out today. Again, strap in. It's an Edgar MetalBro special, I guess, with like 10 trials being played between us.
Yeah, that's crazy, right, Edgar? I'm here for it though. I'm all here for it. I'm ready to see some Clown action. I'm ready to see some Huntress action. And quite frankly, I would love it if we get to animatronic. That would be amazing stuff. But yeah, first we're gonna go to Clown here, and now we're back in the gold standard for the next 2 sets. And then if we reach the 5th set, then we'll be seeing the special affliction set again as well, and we'll roll a new affliction. So that'd be pretty awesome. We're gonna stick with the same lobby, so this should be a rather fast match to get into here. Same killers, same survivors. We'll have Momo still on Clown, and with Grease, Llama, Sock My Socks, and Deco on survivor side against Momo's Clown. So that's it's gonna be pretty interesting to see. Well played in Petroleum for pulling off that really awesome comeback on the Leatherface here. And quite frankly, really interesting how both, like you mentioned earlier as well, Edgar, how both teams pulled each other's picks from them.
Now it's time to either continue that or break the cycle here. If you're Petroleum, you've had your, you've had your misstep. It's time to lock in now. We get into the gold balancing. There's not going to be any excuses, not going to be any, weird shenanigans. It's complete gold standard for the next two. I'll say 2.5, because we still have the odd rule set change in the fifth and final set if we get there. But it's going to be gold standard. I feel like if I had to pick, I would favor Petroleum in this kind of more standardized environment. Really excited to see exactly what Momo can bring out on the Clown after so long. Clown, of course, having got some changes not too long ago, which have been received, but by the community, we'll put it that way, and is definitely climbing, sort of in the killer tiers in that sense. Was always never like surprisingly was never bad in comp for quite a while, but has been climbing the ranks more and more and more as time goes on.
You remember how I said it's gonna be the same lobby? That was a big old lie. My bad, guys. We're Julian's coming in on the Clown here, so we'll be seeing that versus the same Survivors lobby as well. So big ask here, honestly. Clown is new Clown is pretty interesting. So we'll have to see how this is going to go, honestly.
Yeah, that we do. Just currently waiting for the players to get into the lobby. Excited to see some kind of standard, some gold standard action. I'm also very excited to see Huntress, because we're definitely going to get to there. It's also going to be on the Ormond Lake Mine, which is certainly very interesting. We'll see exactly how that goes. I think last time I saw Huntress was on Rotten Fields. Interested to see exactly where we can be taken. I keep saying interested to see. Very interested today. There's a lot of unknowns, not the killers. I should point out. No one's playing unknown today. It's very sad.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of unknowns. You have teams which are coming back from so long. We have teams which are expected to be great. We have undefeated teams that end up losing 2 sets, but then like reverse sweeping. We have some old players coming out. We have some new players bringing it to the old players. It's an exciting time. I feel like if I had to consider it, because I've actually spoken to some of the staff about this. There's slightly different opinions. I consider like the end of the main season, summer split. So for us, it was Season X this year. That's kind of like the big blowout party at the end of the year, right? If you think of like school time or something like that, everything ends in like June, July, and then we have our time off, and now we're here for like a reset. It's October, it's September, October time. We're back. We're better than ever. We're fresh. We're feeling good for another year of DBDLeague. And a lot of things are changing. We're getting a lot of rule changes. We obviously have had our massive announcement about being officially supported by behavior. We have the announcement about the LAN, which of course we're still accepting contributions to with !LAN. And there's just so much to look forward to. Not to be too I don't know, hope core or anything like that, but yeah, there's a lot that's going on very well in the competitive community.
Hope core is an interesting comment, Edgar. But honestly, I see what you're going at with this here. But either way, we are loading into the first match of the Clown set. Julian is already throwing some yellow bottles out here, trying to get some very good haste. We're loading very early into the match here. Hoping to find someone early on. We do actually find somebody. I believe it's some of my socks on the Jonah. And oh, that is Frosty Eyes Clown, brother. That is a little scary. I'm not gonna lie. And Talking My Socks sees Julian leaves the chase quite early here, and decides to hop directly on a gen. We are actually now chasing Geeko here. Crane is now gone, and Julian reloads really early. I'm noticing.
Yeah. I think it's just to like prepare. Whenever you get to like a new tile, it's good to have as many bottles as possible so you can just sort of throw them out liberally, especially with the yellow bottles, which honestly it seems like most Clown players are just lending towards using the yellow bottles a lot more often at the loops. The recent change, of course, made those a lot stronger while weakening the pink ones. However, you do need to get someone. Right now, these survivors are doing a pretty good job of, oddly enough, spacing. Even despite the new and improved haste, I mean, 17% bottles is utterly ridiculous. But even despite this, the survivors are still being able to pre-run quite well, force the clown to catch up to them, and then just play really safe at the tiles. It's been the counterplay forever. You can pre-drop. It's pretty effective against the clown. That being said, hit comes through onto Slammer. And in the meantime, the gens not being progressed quite as well, but stun is actually going to allow Slammer to make some decent distance. Taking this chase in the corrupt gens, and then you run into a fire barrel. So, you know, a good chase for a while, and then a not so good chase for a while.
Absolutely, yeah. And we are going to get a paint resonance pretty early on as well. Not super duper early, but, you know, early enough that it should be impactful for the pressure here. 1 minute, 51 seconds here. Not too bad at all. Not a super early down or anything, but, you know, not out of the realm of possibility for someone like Clown. So, Julian getting some good pressure here. He finds the gen they were on as well, by the way. And also Dragon's Grip in play. Not a pretty popular pick on Clown as of recently, so interesting pick, I can't lie.
Well, I mean, the expose is always a nice bonus, but realistically, it's like when a Dragon's Grip is in play, no one can stop the regression on that gen. Simple as that. You know, you kick a gen, it stays regressing for a fair bit longer. But who's been tapping on my gen, says Julian. And I think it's Sock My Socks who says, "It was me, I'm sorry, please don't kill me." And now we have a brief window of time where Sock My Socks is very, very killable and has to play as carefully as humanly possible. If we get exposed down hit, and that is a disaster for Exodus. It's the kind of goof you only make once, but it's a pretty big goof.
Pretty big goof indeed. Almost as big as the goof you see at Disneyland. But yeah, anyways, pretty good down, by the way. Also, fun fact coming in from Valoria, our stats analyst in the background here. After 100 trials, the average chase time across all killers is 30 seconds longer than in Season X. 30 seconds on average, by the way. So that is pretty kind of crazy, honestly. I can't lie. That's some really good information here from the background from Valoria. So thanks for that, Valoria. Appreciate all the fun facts. Please keep them coming. We'd love to see them. That being said, we are finding another chase onto Slama, who's already been hooked once. We're going to go and get another hook on them, if possible. And we're actually going to path over to Crane, where there's no pallet anymore. I don't know if Exodus is communicating to them what pallets have been used, but that one being gone kind of really allowed a pretty free hit on the Slama.
Yeah, fortunately that is a pretty strong truck filler there that Fern was able to work with, so Julian has forced over to this kind of window setup over here, for lack of a better term, the disconnected TNL, I suppose. And the meanwhile, the gens are being cranked out very well by everyone in the background. So even despite that wayward down onto Sock My Socks, the survivors as a whole are doing a really, really good job here. Slammer eventually going to be taken down, but enough time's been bought for probably for Sock My Socks have their generator completed. And then Deco to maybe put a nice little dent into another.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what you want to see for the survivor side of Exodus after that really unfortunate Dragon's Grip down. And now Grease actually making his way over to try to get Sama off the hook soon. I'm not sure if you want to pull this immediately, though, but this might also be the only opportunity you get for it. Julian not really contesting the unhooks here, so not a bad idea just to pull Sama straight off the hook here. Clown with enough haste just to not even have to look up to avoid the firecracker. He's just faster. So
he is faster than the speed of light. That's absolutely crazy.
Sure is. Yeah, he's moving at like Mach 10 right now. But yeah, we are actually at 1 gen left. There's not really any gen pressure on the board at the moment. Slama and Sock My Socks both dead on hook. So if we find Slama here, it's kind of a pretty bad position for Exodus to be in, but at the same time, 1 gen left. Is that really that bad of a position? We can kind of minimize the hook stages here. Also, not to mention, Julian's kind of playing for stages half and half with Tunnel out. We do actually take this window here. We get Lithe off as well. And we're playing this very, very strong truck filler. Gree is able to make it back. Yeah, I mean, Exodus is playing this very well. Slama's here to actually play with Gree to prevent another fresh hook from coming in. So, oh, and they get the haste, and Julian doesn't. That's so unfortunate. Oh,
and the swing and the miss there from Julian.
how does it feel, Clown?
Has to go back to the dugout for that one, and yeah, it's a double-edged sword. The yellow bottles, of course, very strong, but people do forget the survivors can get the benefits of those as well. Now, I mean, Deco does not want to go down here. That'd be way too many stages to go over. Honestly, you kind of want... In a perfect world, you just give up no one. But, like, if My Socks is the one who has to die in the corner so the rest of the team can live, it's not going to be so bad. And 5 stages, I mean... I would have thought this would have massively gone the way of Petroleum. But Exodus had a really good recovery. Despite the wayward down onto My Socks, it feels like playing like for fresh on a killer which won't necessarily 4K is fine. But I do think there were a couple of opportunities for 4K to come out there. You know, the first down onto Slama was good. There was a surprise down on My Socks, no one really expected. Someone could have been dead at least by the maybe 4K 0 mark. I should say, to put it simpler, the 0 gen mark, right? And then you can like get like a nice camp out at the end, and you'd be securing like maybe 7, 8 stages. But no, 5 is all that you're going to leave with, which leaves a bit to be desired.
Absolutely, especially on New Clown, right? Yeah, 5 stages too fresh. Not the best win condition, but certainly not terrible either. Not super far off from average, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, still,
I would
you
consider
definitely leaves.
I'd consider on New Clown, if I had to put a number on it, I'd say 7 would be an average result, and then 8 would be an above average result. In a similar tier of something like, I don't know, like a pyramid head or a spring trap or something along those lines, you know? That's kind of where I'd put the New Clown. Not quite in like the maybe like 9, 10 stage category of like, you know, Hillbilly Spirit Dark Lord. Definitely not in like the 4K territory of Blight, Nurse, and possibly Crassaway. There's an argument to be made. And Dredge, yeah, and Dredge, because why the hell not? Specifically with DBDL balancing, yeah. But I would say that like 8 stages would be a good spot to be aiming for.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, quite a few times it wasn't too far out of reach as well. So Julian, I think you know, played pretty well. Just had a couple of opportunities that were unfortunately missed. But mechanically, really solid job on Blight, on not Blight, excuse me, on Clown. I mean, he's pretty fast, just not that fast. But yeah, no, not a bad performance on Clown. 5 stages, not too bad, especially considering um, you know, it's a new map, one that really hasn't been practiced with Clown very often. So when we have like map changes, you know, there's definitely some expected changes in the win conditions, the average win condition, anyways. So yeah, not a bad job at all. Now we're switching sides. Evan will be coming in on the Clown, and we have the survivors of Petroleum as well with Momo, Acid, Kenshi, and Julian. And can they prevent Evan from getting 6 stages on the Clown? We'll have to see, honestly. You know, quite frankly, with that really bad start on the Legion set, they did get a very nice comeback with the Cannibal, with getting a 4K 0 compared to Exodus and their six stage 2 fresh. So yeah, very solid job. But now they have to prevent Evan from getting a better win condition, and that's easier said than done.
I like how there's just 3 names for Bubba. Like Cannibal. Like we have Cannibal, we have Bubba, we have Leatherface, and then whatever pet names people have for him. I find it very funny that I have to do like some mental gymnastics to remember what killer we're talking about again. But yeah, Clown, of course, going to be pretty good here. I think things are looking up for Exodus right now. they look poised to win this series. I think even if they can make a series like this competitive, I think they came into this as the underdogs, right? Just by virtue of they were the qualifier team as opposed to the invite team. There's a bit of an expectation that the invite team has some more pizzazz on their side. The things are meant to go in their favor, right? But if they're able to even take this to a match point, if they're able to take it all the distance, as we have had a killer DC, as a matter of fact, so we'll take a quick minute to figure out exactly what's going on. But
so the issue is the fact that we didn't set the map. That it was not a killer DC. It was wrong map. So unfortunately, we will be. Oh man. Well, Exodus, if I'm not mistaken, will be incurring a 0.5 stage penalty. I'm just going to confirm that with the background really quick, but that's rough.
Okay. Okay, the point is, there's going to be a 0.5 hook stage penalty on the side of Exodus.
Yeah, it's confirmed, by the way. Confirmed.
Yeah, okay. Apologies for the confusion in my voice. The reason I sound like that is because I am confused. So, yeah. I wonder why I sound like that. But yes, we will be going right back into it with the half hook stage penalty. Survivors had the opportunity to adjust their builds, but given with how quickly they've loaded back in, I don't think they have. Killer has to play with the same build, which of course was shown to the survivors, and that is an advantage which they will be able to keep. So pressure is definitely up a little bit on Evan now, but realistically the half hook stage penalty just kind of means that like a tie isn't really possible, right? Like it was it was 5 stages last time, so all that you can do is get your 6 stages as you plan to win, and you would still get that.
Oh, what a nasty hit through that pallet, by the way. I mean, quite frankly, New Clown just feels like you can swing at pretty much anything and you'll hit someone. It's really unfortunate. Asta took a very early hit, did get the pallet stun, but to no avail, unfortunately, since the hit did come through. And now it looks like Momo's in chase, makes it all the way to Shaq, so expecting a pretty solid chase from Momo here. We do drop Shaq pallet, but fear not, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, Shaq is literally just a pallet, bro. Don't worry about it. The teams, they communicate what pallets are used, so it's not really a big issue at all. And yeah, unfortunately, that is going to be a hit landing onto Momo. But the nice thing is, we see that Live gets used, so and Dance With Me, so you get some pretty good value from that as well.
That we will. And now we have Momo who's doing a pretty good job over here. The gens are just being like really worked in the far distance as well. Julian and Kenshi doubling up here. Interesting style that we're seeing from our Clown, where we are being a bit more flexible with using the pink bottles as well as the yellow ones. No one's going to be able to come to get that. Who's able to get that pallet save quite in time, so we're going to get our first hook onto Momo. Remember, on account of the half hook stage penalty, essentially we're looking at receiving Evan getting 6 stages. It would still secure the win as usual, it just means that 5 stages would be a loss as opposed to a tie. In terms of the build, it's pretty standard. Have your slowdowns, and you also have your rapid brutality on, so maybe letting the gens fly a little bit more so that you can get yourself some nice amount of haste.
And the crazy thing to mention here too, by the way, is that first down came in. Oh, nice head on as well, saving Momo's life here. Okay, that was beautifully well done by Julian. Very nice, very nice head on. Saving Momo's life, getting him a lot of distance here, especially on New Clown. That's very important. I think he actually makes it to the truck filler. Oh, maybe not if, yeah, unfortunate.
The cavalry is here.
On the pallet, though. Cavalry is, in fact, here.
And actually, the threat is so significant that like Evan just can't pick up Momo. As simple as that, right? And it's really tough, actually. Now he's eventually going to have to come back over. With a good enough game sense, recognizes that there's two injured survivors who probably can't get this save, at least not easily, and you know therefore they won't. But another gen does fly for it. Momo closer to death, of course. Always going to be a problem for the survivors to contend with. So we'll see what they can do to try and... They've already done a really good job of protecting Momo for a long time, you know. That down could have come out, like, at minimum, like... Well, I guess the hook as well. Could have come out, like, you know, 40, 50 seconds earlier. But Survivor's doing a really good job of delaying that one out. So we'll see what more they can do to keep the quote-unquote golden goose of the current situation, the tunnel out, alive.
Absolutely. And yeah, Momo getting some really good pathing already. Using that for live actually is really smart here. Nicely done by Momo. You get some really good distance here. But again, new clown, so... Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh! I almost thought he made it. I almost thought he made it. Unfortunate, though.
Firecracker save attempt?
Wait.
That is...
That does not hit, unfortunate.
That was in fact behind a rock, Julian. I do apologize.
It was a nice
but yeah, right. Momo's dead now. The problem is, look at the gens. When you take people off the gens just to delay the tunnel out, that's good, but obviously it means that the gens aren't actively being worked on in that time. If you're not able to eventually prevent that tunnel out, then suddenly you're in a 3v1 with your gens also, you know, kind of like not progressed at all. It really looks like Exodus are primed for a victory here in the class.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. He takes it down. We are getting some really good progress towards the win for Exodus here. Oh, and Pain Residence as well. Come on. It seems like all odds are stacked against Petroleum right now. That's really unfortunate. Yeah, this is pretty rough. Either way, I mean, quite frankly, Petroleum's not out of this yet. We are kind of tied right now in the official standings of the match. All right. Evan is sending some crazy hits right now. Also, big difference in how both comm players are playing this is the fact that, okay, very ambitious swing there, is the fact that Evan's using purple bottles, whereas Julian was not. Okay, the fact that that hits is wild. New Clown is insane, Edgar.
It's very scary. It's why I say, like, it's been climbing the rankings into that, I would say, like, B+ or A- tier of killer. You know, it's not the S tier, it's not the A+ tier, but an argument can be made for the A- or the B+ tier, to be honest, is a very real threat to contend with, and with a fresh hook onto Kenshi, that takes us to a total of 4 stages, and 3 fresh. Remember that if you get your 6 stages, that's on account of the penalty. The 6 stages will secure that win outright anyway. So if you want to stick around while Kenshi is on the hook, you know, just make friends with him, have a picnic or something along those lines. That would be just fine for you. Also, I made a quick mistake. It's currently 5 stages with Kenshi on that hook. Therefore, yeah, you can actually just camp to second here, and there's kind of nothing that can be done. Especially because it's on the hill as well, so this is such a rough position to unhook in.
I mean, on top of that, Evan doesn't even need a camp. He's already secured the win. This is 5 stages on 3 fresh survivors versus 2 fresh last match. So this is already the win for Exodus. Yeah, quite unfortunate, honestly. All odds seem to be stacked against Petroleum right now. But moving on, though, I mean, we still have, you know, more sets to go for. And nicely done stun here from Julian. Very well done.
Yeah, very much so. Don't worry about it. The point is, the win is currently in the hands of Evan and Exodus, and they have put themselves on match point. You know, the plucky young upstarts, so to speak. Even though I'm sure they're just actually very nice, chill people. I'm calling them the plucky young upstarts because it helps them. But yeah, being able to take it to a team like Petroleum, who are playing, you know, like, uncharacteristically, like, I wouldn't say poorly, but there are some, like, mistakes being made, you know, there are some pain reses not being called out, there are some, it's more macro decisions, right? In the micro, they're honestly fine, you know, like, their chases are solid, their 1v1s are good enough, but the 4v1 seems to be a struggle. I guess it's, you can't just rebuild all of the synergy that you want. Hello, everyone. Thank you for sticking with us through that unplanned break. We had a crash on our end, not the players' end. This was completely. This was completely. I mean, not really on anyone. Crashes just happen sometimes, but it was on our end. The players were doing perfectly fine. Nothing wrong whatsoever. Everything's still fine behind the scenes. I think by the time that we went to standby, Exodus had already gotten enough stages to secure their win. That has been maintained. They ended up with a 4K1 result. Therefore, they are now up 2-1, and we will be going over to our fourth and possibly final set of the day. We've been going for like, oh my god, we've been here for 8 hours. Not me personally, but like 8 hours of Dead by Daylight today. My goodness. But yeah, we apologize for that. We apologize for that brief error. We apologize for the random interruption and the kind of lack of explanation, which sadly came with that interruption. But you know, there was nothing that could really be done about it in the moment. But let's look forward to the Huntress, a very interesting killer on the Ormond Lake Mine, which is a very interesting map, to put it bluntly.
Honestly, one of my favorite maps in the whole game. It released
real?
alongside Houndmaster. Yeah, quite frankly. It released alongside Houndmaster, but didn't come with a chapter. It was just kind of planned release alongside, just like same timing. But honestly, I really like the map. Not only is it aesthetically pleasing, but it's actually one of the more balanced maps that came out recently. So really nice to see that. Also, lots of nice Easter eggs, like the elevator that crashes when you approach it for the first time. Super cool. That being said, we're going to have Slama on the Huntress versus the survivors of Petroleum, being Momo, Kenshi, Acid, and Julian. And you know, honestly, I'm really interested in seeing this. Now, I think you mentioned already that we had already seen the win before DBD crashed suddenly, but from reports from both sides of the players here, we saw a 4K1 coming in from Exodus. So now we're moving on to the Hunter set. And, you know, this could be the last match of the day. We're sitting at 2-1 right now in favor of Exodus. But, you know, we have two really solid teams here, and we could see a comeback from Petroleum, just like we saw a comeback from Umbrella recently. So let's not count them out just yet, but also hope that we see some awesome games. And quite frankly, I really hope we reach the animatronic, because I would love to see another special set. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are loading into the Huntress set here. First match with Slama on the Huntress. And we are seeing Ormond Lake Mine on the Huntress, which is really cool. A lot of elevation here with the main building, and we find what? We find Julian here. Nice stun as well. Interesting build coming in from Slama's Huntress, by the way. Ruin Undying, Pain Res, and Corrupt Intervention. And yeah, interesting stuff here.
Okay, Julian not quite 2-tap, very much could have been, but knows that they're in a tough situation on account of firecrackers, but Slimer getting caught on the geometry there, and another very close swing and a miss with the hatchet. And pallets like this are always so tricky to play around, kind of on both sides as well, right? It is a massive game of chicken of will the pallet be dropped, will the Huntress hold the hatchet, will they just commit, you know? You know, if you're holding hatchet but you just run through anyway, then it's over. Ah, Julian's in the basement. This means that Julian is dead. Nicely, and that no one can really help. So, yeah.
What do you do in this situation?
The silver lining is that, like, oftentimes Huntress is very good at camping because of the ability to pressure out the entire map, right? The basement here is in an indoor area. Slammer isn't going to be in a spot where they can have sight over the entirety of the map and also have sight of the basement itself. Is going to have to, like, pick and choose a little bit. That being said, there is still very much a Julian in the basement against a killer that you simply cannot physically unhook against if they have line of sight with you. So, take that how you will.
The nice thing is that Julian had a pretty decent first chase before going down and getting put in basement. That's at least something that's good for Petroleum here. Julian did have a very good first chase. It wasn't like super duper long or anything. No gens popped for it, but he was able to stay alive for a while. So this camp out's definitely going to see some gens get popped here. Just now about to go second stage. Slama checking to see if anyone's in the basement ready for an unhook. But I think we're just about to see 3 different gens pop here for the price of 1 hook stage. 2 hook stages now. And yeah, I mean, this is kind of rough for Petroleum here. The basement hook is definitely going to be really unfortunate. But now the nice thing here is we have some really good gen progress, and we're threatening a 3rd gen to get completed here. Otherwise, either Slama commits to this gen and tries to get the regression on it with Ruin, or we go back and we guard the unhook, which it looks like Momo's here for it, but oh, that's so. Oh, please don't go down near the basement.
Guys, I'm too tapped. Guys, I'm too tapped.
No! Do we rescue Julian? No, we don't. Oh! Oh my goodness, this is so scary.
That's a problem. Yeah, no, okay, yeah, no, playing Survivor against Huntress is the jump scare. Every time an axe is just like, where the hell did that come from? Like there's just bombardments raining down upon you. But, like, Julian's dead, and the worst part is Momo is next to the basement. So you can even just put Momo in the basement if you really want. Honestly, is it worth it? I'd rather take a pain res at this point. But, like, you got your kill. So you got your kill with 2 gens remaining. Yeah, you have a little bit of extra regression on account of the pain res, and you're in a commandeering spot right now to take this win.
Yeah, this is very unfortunate for Petroleum. 1 dead, 2 gens left. Momo's on hook. Could have easily been taken to the basement for a pretty easy 2nd kill. But we can also just kind of guard this. I mean, there's only a couple of gens that are out of line of sight here from the hook position. Actually working this gen close to the hook. But actually the tower gen is the one that's getting completed a lot right now. We do get Momo off the hook here. Okay, that's bad.
Oh, good dodge. We're going to be breaking LRS as well. We're able to get over to a TNL. Can anything be made of it realistically? TNL isn't the most fantastic
no.
No, you thread the needle? Just like that? Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay, this might be a nutcase on Huntress right now. Momo's going to go right back onto that meat hook. And things are going from bad to worse right now. The essential average that we're being told in the background, what you expect to see on Huntress is basically 6 stages too fresh, which is you get 1 person, put them on hook, camp to death. You get another person in the end game, you camp them to death, right? If you're able to get anything above that, that is a pretty damn good performance.
Absolutely. I mean, this is, despite all things looking bad for Petroleum right now, things could turn around, and we could just keep it at 6 stages too fresh here and maybe get outs. But at the same time, Slama is just cooking on Huntress right now. Not really hitting any snipes, just, just very classic Huntress playing right here. Just getting a lot of very, very quick downs, 2 taps even. And, I mean, despite Julian's first very good chase and Momo's really good chase as well, I mean, gen pressure is kind of not right there right now. I mean, I'm sure the best plan of action right now is to... Do we even go for this unhook? I don't know if we go for this unhook here, honestly, Edgar.
Not if you value your continued existence.
I mean, yeah.
And Acid took an injury from downtown anyway, right? So Acid just cannot get that save at all. And Slime is going to be able to pressure out the final generator in time to force Kenshi off of it too. Gets a kick on it as well. Like, yeah, your Ruin Undying's down, which is far from ideal, but you still have pain res stacks for days onto whomever you may get. Now I see why we went to Ormond Lake Mine for Huntress. I was a hater at first, but no, this is actually awesome.
Oh!
This is awesome! Ugh!
What? Oh no. No, 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 no. This is bad. This is so bad. 4K1 is in clear line of sight here. Kenshi needs... I don't even know what you can really do here. This is just kind of wraps, honestly, Edgar. This is really, really unfortunate for Petroleum. And unless they have a way to pull this off in their next pillar match, I don't see this being really very good for them here. This is so tragic.
Petroleum and the horrible no good day at the Ormond Lake Mine as the 4K1 is going to be secured. That's a fantastic Huntress result, by the way. And like this is a map which very much seems geared towards the Huntress, with the high ground advantage, basically, with your coverage with those hatchets. But like, oh, this is tough. And now the win con is set. It's set there in stone, or in snow, I should say. You just need to complete the 5 generators, and you have punched your ticket to the upper bracket, and you've pulled off what I would say early on is a pretty major upset.
Yeah, honestly. Now, we got to see Petroleum really pull something off here. Trying to smack a hatchet with another hatchet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the trick shots, bro.
It's like he's trying to pull an orbital on his orbital. So that's, if you guys like orbitals, then you'll love this orbital. So that's, all right, anyways, yeah, crazy result for the Sama's Huntress. 4K1 is wild. And yeah, I mean, we all got a taste of how Ormond Like Mine can be a really solid map for Huntress here. I mean, there's a lot of elevation. I did say that I liked it. I like it on Survivor side, but I also like it on Killer side. I've gotten some really solid results as unknown on this map before, so quite a fan of it for ranged killers. So no wonder Slama cooked. But now we got to change sides and get Petroleum on the Huntress and Exodus on the Survivor side. I'm curious who's going to play Huntress for Petroleum, though. Probably going to be Momo, I would imagine. Momo plays a lot of the killers, and it looks like Julian's starting to pick up a few of them for Petroleum as well. But I imagine it's going to be Momo for Petroleum this time on Huntress. But either way, I mean, this is a very it's a very tough ask. Either way, can it be done? Of course it can. Will it be done? That's an entirely different story here.
Yeah, and like this is where Petroleum need to lock in, and they really need to like show up. It definitely matters right now, more than anything else. Like to have a team with this amount of pedigree, and I guess this amount of pressure as well. And I know we're not helping; we are directly fueling the Petroleum should win narrative, which is maybe a little mean of us, but oh well, that's how it be. That's how it is sometimes. Like to go down into the lower bracket this early on for a team which is expected to, do very well in this tournament would be a big struggle. Hey, look, it's the pride of North America that's on the line, right? And so I hope that all of the NA fans are just happy to see their players getting reps in.
Very well said. Also, it's going to be Julian on the Huntress. So we have a pretty tough ask of Julian here to pull off a 4K2, or at least pull off a 4K1 and maybe go to the 2v1 tiebreaker here. Either way, not going to be easy to do at all. And yeah, I mean, like, what can you do in the situation here? 4K1 is already tough to ask for a Huntress. 4K2, ugh, I don't know, honestly, Edgar. This is a very big ask for Julian here. Now, I mean, again, nothing is really out of the realm of possibility here, but whether or not it can be done is very different. And I mean, oh my goodness, I'm quite frankly very tense right now, just because of the fact that I just don't really see Julian being able to pull this off. This is really tough. But I mean, I'm gonna let him speak with his actions here. I'm gonna let him pull it off if he can, and if he does, I mean, hey, more power to him, right? Well done to Petroleum, but this is just this just feels entirely difficult, like way too difficult, honestly. But again, I mean, Ormond Lake Mine is still a very solid map for range killers. So maybe we'll see him pull something off. Maybe we'll see him cook. We just gotta wait and see.
That we absolutely do, right? It's been a very rough day for Julian so far, but I think that this is the time to step up massively. You have a tough win con to get. Try and God, just try and like what can I even say? Try and lock in as much as possible. Try and take the pressure off because often that ends up being when you perform better. Weirdly enough, when you're not thinking too much about what could go on, you like when you it's about the flow state, right? Like this the concept in kind of regular sports and esports where if you are too like hypercritical and too focused on your performance, inadvertently you end up doing worse because all of the brain power that you put into going to, oh well, you know, I'm not doing well today, like I'm being like outplayed, I need to be doing this better, I need to be doing that better. That takes your focus away from actually just playing, right? Everyone just has the capacity to hit flow state. Like I'm sure that everyone, like you, Rob, and then like anyone in chat who's heard this had it like in like days where like they'll be playing games and like everything's just locked in, right? You're not really thinking, you're just winning and you're playing like amazingly well. And then some days where like nothing's wrong physically, nothing's wrong mentally, you just can't play the game well, right? So for Julian, it's very much time to turn everything around and prove everyone wrong right here, right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost like a creative block, honestly, you know? But either way, we got to see if Julian can pull it off. It's going to be very difficult, I think, but I mean, maybe he can do it. We gotta let him speak for himself and let him pull it off himself if he can, and just hope for the best, honestly. Now, quite frankly, I would love to see. Oh, nice undying value actually early on in the match. That's actually really good for Julian. Does he make usage out of it though? Not Rose. Okay, nice hit on the sock my socks. A very early hit as well, from pretty far away as well too. So nice shot from Julian. Very good to see that. And we're cleansing a totem already. That's going to be undying, gone out of the match. Ruin should be up next if we're even on it. But yeah, what a good shot already to begin with.
And now we need to see exactly what kind of LOS we have to use to break here. You use the bounce landing, we're able to make quite a lot of distance. And actually, Julian has to leave, so the first down going to be delayed by quite a bit here. Of course, you know, against a Huntress, you can get any kill at any point in time. Gree just like stealth like crazy, by the way. Actually pulled like a Scooby-Doo maneuver to escape the clutches of Julian. That's absolutely ridiculous. And Slumber's doing something the same right here. We're going to get rid of the Undying, so our early gen pressure is slow, but again, we're kind of making early investments at which we can cash in the long term. And unfortunately, that elusive first down, we're still behind the mark right now. It's gotta come out. Oh no! Wait, you break the wall, but you don't go through. You think that Slammer might have kind of double backed, but no, they had vaulted the window all along. This is really tough right now, and Julian's about to run out of hatchets.
Yeah, unfortunately, and we don't hit the hatchet onto Suck My Socks, who makes it all the way over to Shaq, by the way. This is a very delayed first down, and actually Julian kind of playing Shaq pretty interesting here. I think this should be the down here. So okay, woo-hoo. Okay, all right. That is really unfortunate for Julian here.
There's no hatchets.
Oh,
you have no hatchets, and you're 110. You know, you don't have the combat wraps or whatever they're called, the Eerie add-on. Soldier's Putty, I guess. So like, you need to get them back. You still have Sock My Socks in the corner. First gen gonna be flying now, doubled up by Deco and Gree. Slimer working on another one, about a third of the way through. Deco and Gree already gonna be splitting up on 2 extras at the same time. And like the shots just aren't hitting, unfortunately. You know, Sock My Socks also went to the magnet store, but ate all the South Pole magnets instead of the North Pole ones. Hence why, like, none of these hatchets are hitting. Eventually, we get a really nice shot through there just before the locker can be hopped. But again, like, look at the progress. We're about to have, like, 2 more generators completed for this hook.
Yeah, this is really, really rough for Julian. I don't think that they pull this out, honestly. Exodus should be able to pop all of these gens, honestly. I don't think we're going to see a crazy good result on the killer side here. Julian, as much as he's hitting some good hatchets here, you know, the first hatchet that came out was a nice hit. It was just, we're just getting outplayed at Shack, unfortunately, because you're 4.4. We get stunned at this pellet as well. Oh, my goodness. I can completely understand if Julian is very frustrated right now, because why would he not be? I would be frustrated in this position as well. Yeah, we're just...
The survivors are doing a fantastic job as well of dodging out onto... Yeah, survivors are doing a great job of dodging out onto all of these hatchets as well. You know, breaking line of sight as much as possible, playing in the most awkward spots for the Huntress to deal with. Anything with high walls, anything where you can't just get that straight line. We do get stuck. There seems to be a deco special. No. Get stuck for a moment there, but in the meantime, gens are still flying by. Stop My Socks is injured, so has to be a bit careful. Not to get randomly sniped out is always a distinct possibility. 2 more generators that need to be completed here for these survivors of Exodus, and they will be securing their ticket into the upper bracket.
And Gree here for a very early pull, by the way. Just getting deco straight off the hook, because Julian can't really afford to camp this at all at this point. Yeah, the unfortunate thing is Julian's just kind of forced to play for stages here in a position where he needs a 4K too. Like, if he doesn't get a 4K now, there's no win coming in at all. It's just really, really, really unfortunate for Julian to be put in such a tough ask situation, and also to be in a position now where it's just not really possible at all. I mean, there's absolutely no reason why the survivors of Exodus don't pull 2 more gens out. Honestly, it's really tough.
One already done. We see the progress. It's actually split up onto 2. Slimer going to get caught at this window. He's in a very much a 2-tappable position here, but eventually able to break LOS for the time being. It's quite tough to play around a lot of these tiles, especially these ones. Relatively low wall. We actually have Stop My Talks here.
Oh, no.
Save, and he's gonna end up getting it, and doesn't even eat an injury in the process. Slimer's able to make more distance off the back of this over towards Shack. There's no pallet here to work with, but still the dodge is fantastic. And we get to this corner map seawall. No, don't do it again. Please don't do it again. Please don't do it again. Okay, we found... Did we find Gree? Yes, okay. We were able to find Gree here. So we're not going to be able to get that pallet save again. But right now, you can tell this guy's just having some fun with it. Stop My Shots in deco. And just like that... I think that's the first upset of the tournament, ladies and gentlemen. Petroleum having a really rough time today, but more importantly, Exodus playing fantastically. Able to secure a 3-1 victory, get themselves into the upper bracket, and knock down a strong contender.
Yeah, that's honestly pretty wild to me, honestly. Yeah, I think Julian just kind of content to sit in basement here and cam Slama out. But yeah, we'll just take the outs here. Very, very strong result from Exodus here, pulling out a 3-1 against, like you said, a very strong team. Very, very strong contender here. So, man, I feel like we need to get like a check on Julian's mental and make sure he's okay, because quite frankly, you know, I imagine he's probably not too happy right now. That's rough, man. That's really rough. I don't even have any words, honestly. Well done to Exodus, and a very nice attempt from Petroleum. Unfortunately, 3-1. We're not going to see the tiebreaker, the 5th set, and we're going to move on with Exodus going into the upper bracket, and maybe Petroleum will have a chance another day. But today, Exodus showed the world who they are. They pulled out 100% set win rate until they got their matchup against Petroleum, lost 1 set, and then won the other 3. So well done to them. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching DBD League today. It's been a lot of amazing matchups, and man, very, very insane. That being said, we're gonna come back tomorrow with some more insane matchups with Invictus versus Sorrow, Elysium versus Desperate, Reassure versus Mercy, and Ascent versus Vix. And that's all going to be starting tomorrow, starting at 1600 Central European time. So make sure you're there for that. It's going to be an awesome time. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you join the Discord server. Check out the YouTube channel and the Twitter. There's a lot of important information on there, and these games will also be getting uploaded to YouTube. So make sure you are around for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to throw some thank yous out there really quick. Direwolf on the production side of the house today. We had Valoria providing stats in the background, Scorched on the LSS, and also all of the casting today. Lots of amazing caster duos today. And ending it out today with you and me, Edgar, on 2 different matchups is pretty insane. So amazing stuff. Thank you to all the teams for also putting on an amazing show as well and being here on time, ready to go. And yeah, amazing stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you tomorrow starting at 1600 Central European time. Thank you and goodbye.